Hi everyone, it's Blake again with Northwinds Wilderness School. This past weekend was our annual brain tanning class, and I think not a lot of people know what brain tanning is, and even amongst those who do, I'm not sure if people understand the process. So I just wanted to give you some insight into how this process works and how the class goes. Brain tanning is the art of taking an animal skin, using the brains of that animal, or in this case of a pig, and turning that skin into usable leather. Now, you've probably all seen commercial leather. It's soft and stretchy, it's smooth on one side, it's rough on the other. The quality of product that you get with brain tan is so much higher. It's soft like flannel, and it's strong, much, much stronger than commercially tanned leather, and it's not super stretchy. The process of brain tanning a hide is labor intensive. Once you get it off of the animal, you have to scrape off the meat and fat. Once that's done, you have to soak it in a solution of lime to fresh water for 24 to 48 hours. Then you pull it out of that and you have to rinse it in fresh water for another 24 hours. And after that's done, then you have to scrape off the hair and the epidermis. Then once that's done, you have to soak the hide in a brain solution or an egg yolk solution. And then you have to soften it. Most people stretch it in a rack and rub it with like a axe handle or a canoe paddle or something until it's soft and dry. Once that's done, then you have to smoke it. It takes probably 5 to 6 days to brain tan a hide, with 3 of those days being actually working on the hide. We usually say 1 day to flesh and scrape, 1 day to brain and break, 1 day to smoke, but that's not exactly accurate. So the participants of this class have agreed for us to use their labor to show you guys how this works. So let's go take a look.
Hey guys, what you doing?
Tanning or flushing some hides.
So, essentially this is the first step in brain tanning, where we're using a dullish knife to remove the fat and meat from the hide, which makes it tannable.
Don't forget the membrane.
Yes, also the inner membrane. We've soaked these hides for about 24 hours in clean water, which is part of the reason, as you can see, the flesh and membrane comes off pretty easily. If you leave them dry, it doesn't come off quite that easy. And as we've taught this class over the years, I think our earlier students are probably upset that we didn't learn this trick sooner.
If you have a problematic spot, let me know. I'll see if I can get your hand on it. That rack's kind of nice.
Yeah, but it's alright.
So once you're done flushing the hides and you get all the fat and all the meat and all the membrane off, we're then going to soak the hide in a lime solution. It looks like deer hide soup. It's just lime and water, and you put the hides in, and this helps loosen the hair and separate the epidermis from the rest of the hide. Once the hides are in the lime solution, we'll let them soak for about 48 hours, and then after that they'll come out of the lime and go into a freshwater rinse for about 24 hours. So you can see we're in the house now. After the hides are completely removed of the hair and the epidermis, the next step is to soak them in the brain solution. So that's what we're doing now, is making the brain solution. How much brain are you using?
I am going to use approximately 3 brains.
So like just under a pound.
That's a brain.
3 pig brains and 1 egg yolk.
Yep. And we will,
And just a little bit of water.
yeah, about a half cup of water. Oh, look at that slushy.
Brain liquid.
Yeah.
Here's our brain solution.
That'll be good for your hair.
Pound of pig brains, tablespoon of bacon grease, 1 egg, about 2 gallons of water.
So we're just going to take this hide and we're going to put it down there in the water.
So can we edit it out? Or?
Yes, that will be edited out.
Here, I'll actually work that in a little bit.
So
Swish that around.
typically you want to swish it around for like 15-ish minutes, 10 minutes.
See here, you get everything in the water. And you're next.
Should probably go trim my both hides up. Get them ready to.
So typically when we do this,
Yeah.
we get them all nice and wet with the brains and then wrap them in plastic and freeze them. But for our purposes here this weekend, we'll just stick them in the refrigerator. After the hides have been in brain solution for whatever you think is the appropriate amount of time, some people say 15 minutes, we like to do it overnight, you need to wring them. This gets the extra moisture out and begins the stretching process.
And you put the stick in there,
And then you ring it.
start twisting it.
This stretches it from several different directions as well as getting all the excess moisture out, which makes it much easier to rack. After you get all the excess moisture wrung out of your hide, the next step is to stretch them in a rack. There are other ways to do this, but this is how we do it. For a process as simple as stretching a hide in a rack, it takes a remarkably long time, probably 40-ish minutes per hide. You have to get it stretched as evenly as possible to make sure that that hide has its full potential for size and strength. This is what the racking process looks like in its very beginning stages. You hang the hide from the neck of the animal or the top center of the hide. Then you stretch out the 2 bottom legs, and then you start weaving your way around. So you can see, we've got the hides all stretched out in the rack. And what Ryan's doing now is called softening or breaking the hide. This is the time in which we are opening up the fibers and allowing the brain tissue to work its way deep into that hide, which will then keep it soft and ultimately tanned. This process can take anywhere from 2 or 3 hours to 10 or 12 hours, depending on the heat, humidity, and wind. Ryan's been working on this for about 7 hours and he just now finally got it racked. After the hide is completely dry, we remove it from the stretching rack and hand soften any rough or hard spots in the hide. This is one of the last steps before it's finished. If you see here, this is leather. This is a tanned hide. It just needs to be smoked and finish the hand softening. We're 2 days in, probably 6 hours of work the first day and probably close to that the second day, but we're almost done. After the hide is all softened and all dry, you need to glue or sew or staple it into a tube and attach some sort of a buffer to it. We use pant leg from a pair of jeans, and you need to smoke it. This is our super jankety smoking setup. We've got a little wood stove that goes up through a stack to dissipate heat, and then the smoke comes out through the hide. Although it's kind of windy right now, so I'm having a hard time seeing the smoke, but it's there, I promise. The smoke helps waterproof the hide. It helps seal in the brands to make sure it stays soft, and it colors it. If you do it right, the color looks really cool when it's done. So let's get this thing smoked, and then we'll see what it looks like when it's done.
Well, I had a lot of fun last weekend. It's one of my favorite classes. It's one of the fundamental skills of humanity. Learning how to turn an animal skin into leather allowed us to make clothing, which allowed us to live in colder environments, which allowed us to shed our body hair as we evolved into modern Homo sapiens. It's super fun. It's super fulfilling. It's very rewarding. And when you're done, you have a beautiful piece of leather that's worth anywhere from $200 to $400 that you can use for making clothing or bags or decorations. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it. If you've ever tanned a hide or have any questions about the process, let us know. If you liked this video or found any value in it, please find a friend to share it with. Thank you so much for your time. As usual, I appreciate every second of it. Have a good day.